I've lived 1,000 lives. I've piloted 1,000 souls. I've killed and fought at night just for another role.
This is the Happy Jacks RPG podcast, a roundtable discussion that's a mix of friendship, humor, unbridled enthusiasm, and tabletop RPG topics sent in from around the world.
Just for another role.
Hello, and welcome to the Happy Jacks RPG podcast, season 37, episode 7. My name is Kimmy.
I'm Pooja.
I'm Cousteau.
And in today's episode, Jake from Illinois asks about stolen moments. Wesley Street on the Discord sends in a success story. And from the archive 2022, Taurelin asks how to handle it when PCs don't do what their players expect. That sounds fascinating. If you'd like to contribute a question or topic to the show, you can email us at happyjacksrpg@gmail.com. That's happyjacksrpg@gmail.com. Or you can post in the mailbag channel of the Discord. And you can reach that at happyjacks.org/Discord. Please send in things. Please send in things. Please send in the things. And like questions, we're a little short on questions. We have a lot of like opinions and, well, not a lot. We don't have enough. Send in anything, but prioritize questions. Yeah. All right.
Everything will be appreciated, but questions will be most
appreciated. On this Teacher Appreciation Week in the United States, please send in questions to this teacher. It has nothing to do with this podcast, but I would appreciate it. All right. Announcements. We will be at GameX May 22nd through the 25th at the Hilton LAX here in LA. Come join us for fun gaming and our live show on Saturday night, where we'll be doing this, but much less organized and with more people from the audience talking and telling stories. It'll be very unorganized, but great. We're also going to be running games and playing games. Most of us are going to be down at Games on Demand, which is a really fantastic setup there. People pitch a bunch of games. You can pitch it to run a game, and then people just choose what they want to play. And if you get in a game, amazing. It's very chill, low-key, a lot of indie games. Safety tools are always used. It's a really fantastic way to try new systems if you're interested in it. And just the people there are just primo, amazing, safe people to play with. So if you go to Strategicon, check out Games on Demand. They usually put us in the basement, but it's not a creepy basement. It's like a nice Hilton basement that's right next to the gym. So that's why nobody can find it.
It's like the correct amount of just secluded, but not super creepy.
Yeah.
Not dungeon vibe.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Not at all. It's very nice. And this escalators like down, like it's not like, it's very nice. It's very posh basement. All right. Yeah. And please send in questions or topics. I already talked about that, but again, it's also on the announcement section, so please do it. All right. Indie Designer of the Month. Our Indie Designer of the Month for May is Ray Chu. Him from MythWorks. Ray publishes a lot of other people's work under MythWorks. You've seen him here. He's run games for us as an actual plays. He's been on the advice show. He helped me run the DEI committee, or the DEI's initiative for Gamma, where we like help marginalized publishers kind of get their foot in the game industry and TTRPGs and also board games. Just a fantastic human being. Does a lot of mentoring also in the publishing space and the game writing space. Just amazing, wonderful person. And I owe it like so much to him and in terms of advice giving. So just support this amazing human. So we're going to be talking a lot, like he publishes a bunch of really well-known games with MythWorks, but we're going to be talking about Ray's games that he's written specifically. So we're focusing on his creative work, not just his publishing work. So this week we're talking, you can find his stuff by visiting myth.works or mythworks.itch.io. The game we're talking about this week is called Insight. Hashtag Insight. Hashtag Insight is a micro RPG that examines when demonstrators incite confrontations. This game was designed as a zero prep, one-shot tabletop RPG experience lasting around 1 to 2 hours. Character creation takes less than a minute and has a robust meta structure coupled with setting and encounter tables that allows the facilitator to begin crafting a narrative with virtually zero prep. Ray designed this game with Vincenzo, thank you. Ferrero, their friend who also works with MythWorks and the co-owner of the company, who's in Italy, if you hadn't guessed by that name. And Ray actually, they worked on this game during 2020, during the Black Lives Matter movement. So it's very much like a one-page. Ray has this really interesting message. If you go look at the page, I didn't want to like copy and paste because it's very much like their words about he felt the need to write this game. He doesn't know if he wants to even play this game, but it's very much about demonstration and what happens when demonstration becomes like a clash. So it's very interesting. The layout is very interesting. And it is a name your own price at mythworks.itch.io. So definitely go give it a look. And it's just a little one-page game. And it's very interesting and thought-provoking, I think.
I'm obviously biased. Hello.
Hello.
But I love the idea. I love the concept. I love this idea.
Yeah.
So,
And,
Absolutely.
yeah.
yeah.
And I love games just to be fun, but I also love how tabletop RPGs give us a way to experience and experiment and delve into humanity.
Yeah.
And that is sometimes the darker, more frustrating elements. And I love how they often reflect what's happening.
Yeah.
And I think that it's a really important thing to acknowledge and see.
Yeah.
I mean,
Absolutely.
it really is like TTRPGs and game writing as an art form, and that grapples with the same things that we are grappling with in life, like so much genre work.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Mailbag number 1.
Hello, oh benevolent host and fellow jackers. Jake from Illinois writing in again with a horror/near glory story and a question for the cast. If you'll hop into your way back machine and follow me to the earliest days of the cast, I'd like to revisit a once popular story of a new GM. That's me. He's not referring to me, but I'm a new GM. New GM and a rules mistake made for a funny, if frustrating at the time, story. In an early season of the show, Stu and the host talked about a mistake made in Dungeons & Dragons game about HP and XP and the long combat caused by this mistake.
That was actually me. Legit. I was the mysterious DM in this story.
Confess your sins!
Yeah.
Okay.
It was the first time I had run D&D, and it was 4th edition, so they had like little cards for all the baddies. And I was nervous and I was excited. And looking at the card, I got the HP and the XP
Oh no!
flipped.
Oh no!
Wow.
So it's such a long combat.
It was such a long combat. And I was like so confused because I'd like
Yeah.
worked really hard at making sure it was balanced. And it was like kind of a low level and all this
yeah.
stuff. And they were just like taking forever.
Level 3 with 250 hit.
Yeah, it was wild. It was wild. So that was,
Okay.
I am confessing now that this story was about me.
Okay. You heard it here.
Yeah.
Okay, so I was mowing the yard and listening to the show when something reminded me of this story, which in turn reminded me of a story of my own. I'll let you fine folks decide if the outcome was a good call or not. It was the early days of 5th edition D&D, and I was joining my first real game of any TTRPG. The group were mostly veterans, but had never played 5th edition before either. The most experienced players in the 12-person group, 12-person group,
That's so big.
quickly took me under their wings, both in and out of character.
Can a group of 12 people do anything quickly? I have doubts.
I'm just pressing. I'm smashing that X button right now.
I do not think they quickly took you under their wing. They cannot do anything quickly. Have you tried to order dinner with these people?
Look, that's hard mode.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
That does not count.
Accurate.
Yeah. My heart goes out to you, Jake. A few months into the campaign, my character's closest friends in the group were knocked unconscious by a young black dragon, and my character happened to come upon them as the dragon was looking over the corpses, quote unquote corpses. Seeing his friends apparently dead, my monk went into a furious rage and attacked the dragon. Now remember, we were still learning all the ins and outs of the system, and my key point mechanic hadn't come up much before this. As the dragon loosed a breath weapon on me, I launched forwards and began a barrage of punches, kicks, and headbutts on the beast. At the time, we didn't realize that I was limited on how much ki could use in a turn, so I burned every one of my 8 key points on Flurry of Blows, and my rolls were on fire.
Amazing.
I don't remember how many crits I rolled, but it was the best I've ever rolled to this day. I believe it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's amazing how what you do if you don't pay attention to any of the rules. It's so
Well,
great.
you know what though? Like, the number of crits is not about having the number of crits is its own thing.
Yeah.
It's not about not understanding how bonus moves like bonus actions work.
Right.
Which like I can totally understand how this would happen.
Yeah.
I like it's confusing. It's confusing when you've done it for a while.
Yeah. So the table was on their feet, cheering me on, and the dragon was on its last legs as I burned out all my attacks, and I finally got a turn. It was it was on its last hit point when it clawed me and knocked me unconscious. Another member of the party landed the final hit on it and started trying to save us all. We decided to take a break to smoke and bask in the high of that moment. When we all came back to the table, the GM looked up from the notebook and dropped the bomb that we were retconning the whole encounter
Oh no.
without even talking to any of us about it. Oh, man. Needless to say, it killed the mood at the table and really felt like a big moment had been taken from me. And the group, as the role play that had happened along with the encounter, was very heartfelt and fantastic. My question is, how would you handle a situation like this? And do any of you have stories similar to this? Thank you, as always, for all the entertainment and everything you do. Looking forward to many more adventures. Jake from Illinois. Woohoo! I'm from Chicago. Jake from Illinois. Norseman 95 on the Discord. P.S. Drink! Thank you, Jake.
I always say Illinois wrong when I read it, like every single time. And every time I do it on show, I always like, oh, I did it again. I know there's only one Illinois, by the way. It's not a plural.
Well, we know Kimmy's.
Yeah.
We know Kimmy's story about this.
Well, I feel like it's different because mine was the opposite. Like, my mistake made it so much harder for the players. It made it so hard for them. Like, it was the worst. I feel like this, like, the mistake, like, helped the players.
Yeah,
It did.
in a way.
It did.
Yeah.
Built them
I
up.
would say, like, so for the last year, have been playtesting the Martial Sorcerer subclass for Jason in the Astral Circus. So we were using 2024, now known as D&D 5.5. And there were some times when, like, either, like, one of us just didn't understand the mechanic that we were, or, like, I had misread it or misremembered or whatever. And generally what Jason would do in those instances is be like, okay, well, that's done. Moving forward, this is how we're going to do it. And that's happened a lot over the last year where it's just been like, if we're confused about something or if there was a mistake made in good faith, like, rather than going back and retconning stuff that happened, it would legit just be, we've all learned something from this experience, and we're going to move on as a group and know for next time. And I prefer that as a method to dealing with stuff because it feels real bad. It feels real bad to retcon something, especially when it sounds like it was a big emotional moment for everybody and all of that kind of stuff. Like, it just is like, don't take stuff away from your players in that way. It would be my advice there. Like, just correct, and then you have the rest of the campaign to get it right.
Yeah. Yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely. Like, if it's a bad moment, like, if you like, wipe the party or something like that, then, yeah, maybe go back and retcon that. But, like, if it's a win for the players, especially when they're like, okay, if you have such an amazing moment that everyone takes a smoke break to bask in how amazing it was, like, those those moments, no matter how great your campaign, are few and far between.
Yeah.
You do not want to retcon that moment. That's the moment they're going to talk about literally years later. They're going to write into podcasts about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there's moments like that where like, oh, I mean, even if you say like, okay, you're going to have a moment where 12 people are all on the same page and cheering for something that is happening in your game. Never.
Yeah.
That is like a once in a lifetime opportunity. Let that happen. Let that stand and be like, hey, look, we completely misunderstood how this rule worked. Which also like happens all the time in TTRPGs. So like rolling with it and just being like, that was really cool. We can theme it in campaign, like in universe. You can say you were so moved and everything was just like this is that adrenaline moment where like you lifted the car off of the like trapped mother. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the heroic moment.
Yeah.
There's a rare, so.
Like this was your time where you surpassed all of your limits. But going forward, that's not going to be how it goes.
Yeah.
I feel like the game doesn't support naturally occurring moments where everyone in the group is going to have a success as a group, unless you're like using some spell. Like one of Happy Jack's members mentioned this to me in a D&D session that, you know, they cast Hero's Feast and they were like super powered and just went in and destroyed the enemy and everything. It was glorious and it was victorious, but it was like they were at a certain level and all the stars aligned and everything worked out. And that's
Jason did not understand the effect that 2d4 was going to have on that entire campaign.
Yeah.
But it was so much fun.
Yeah.
And then he figured out a way in universe to make it go away.
Yeah.
But that still felt like we got such good use out of it.
Yeah.
It skewed the rules so hard. Like it was wild.
Yeah.
But it was a once in a like this had been an item that we had held on to for 25 sessions.
What was the item?
Was this so when we first got to the Avernus, Adam's character Slate had carved a bas-relief of 4 deities in the House of Hope. And the dust that fell, like while this was happening, Slate became kind of like possessed by Sune as this like beauty was being made. And so the dust that fell from their work was magical in its own right. And Dion had like rolled really high on like an arcane score or religion score or something like that. And so gathered some of that up and held on to it, like literally, that's like, this is going to give you a day of bliss.
Ooh.
A full dawn to dawn of bliss. And it's going to be like super bliss. Jason definitely expected us to use it like much sooner than we did. And Dion held on to it until we were fighting the big bad of the entire campaign.
Yeah.
And then during like a subsequent part of that fight, that got purged as part of the narrative. And it worked out and it felt really good because like we had gotten a lot of use out of this thing that he had been holding. So it felt like that part was realized and utilized. And then it was like, okay, and now we're back, like something else has happened and narratively it made sense and it felt good.
Yeah.
The whole thing like was on our side. And then even the taking away of it didn't feel like punitive in any way. And it wasn't a retcon, it was part of the whole arc of the fight.
Yeah.
Because it went on like for 2.5 sessions.
Wow.
So it was a long one because that's what happens when we're level 14 now.
Yeah.
And like fighting
that makes
a really, really high level baddie.
Yeah.
So it was like turns take a long time and like just we don't milk it, but like we role play our way through combat and we always have. So stuff takes a long time in there because we're having all of these character moments while the fight is going on.
How many were in this party?
4. There's
Okay.
4 of us. Plus there were 2 summons also.
Okay.
And then 1 big bad.
Yeah.
1 big
Do I,
bad.
do I have time to add something?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Thank you for sharing that, because Deanne's going to come up again for my answer. So I'm a newbie DM, just offering my perspective, and I had something similar. I'm not going to say it wasn't exactly like this or what you described, Pooja, but my philosophy was, because I had a bad experience starting with, I started with D&D, 2nd edition, 3.5, took a break. It was like a time suck. And then came back.
I
mean,
imagine.
at the university, I was like, this is like, not helping. But it was good fun. And I'm glad I missed 4th edition. And, but my philosophy was, I had such a bad experience with my first introduction of 5e that I said, if I was going to DM, I would make it player focused and just do all the things that made it so bad for me, the opposite of that, and make it player focused, make sure their actions, their choices mattered, that their backstory was reflected, and random magic items, some custom magic items, but really engage the players and fulfill that backstory. And but also I took some advice from another DM that if I do make an exception for that moment, that rule of cool in that moment, just to let them know, like, I'm going to make an exception this one time, but that's not going to be the rule. And from going forward, that will be, we're going to stick closer to the rule system. But I've only had one incident where the players were going into a situation where there's a very highly guarded gate. And there were a lot of people that, I'm not going to give a lot of this away because I don't know if Dion's going to jump back into this campaign, but he knows now that they know now, like, there were creatures that some were mind possessed, some were telepathic. Dion wasn't sure if they were like a legion, like a what do you call it, like a being that exists in many places at once or something like that.
Hive mind.
Hive mind. Thank you. Pooja for the win. But immediately when they got to this setting, to the scene, there was something that was off about the party that I thought reasonably is going to trigger one of the most devious of the NPCs to think, oh, these guys aren't on the up and up, and kind of tested them. And mind you, so Dion's character is a changeling, and Wizards of the Coast, love you guys. Immediately before the session, updated Kalashtar and Changeling. There's also a Kalashtar. And so I thought, okay, I want them to have, basically, I want to create a playground, and I want to give my players the toys and sit back and let them have fun. And so I said, okay, I'm gonna apply this update, and it involved like an what was it? They changed something like they get advantage on charisma checks or something, and I mixed it up because Kalashtar they added, now they get charisma saves, and Kalashtar get advantage on charisma checks after they shapeshift. And so I don't know what happened, but I mixed up that the changeling got advantage on charisma saves or something. And so when this guy tried to see into Dion's character's mind, I said, okay, well, he's got advantage on this charisma save, plus blah blah plus he's got some other advantage, and I made it so that because if he had not gotten advantage and he saved on the roll, if he had not, the gig would have been up. That person would have known that, oh, these guys are imposters. I'm gonna tell the guards to shoot them. I'm gonna tell the constructs to target them. They would have been on the back foot. They probably would have died. I probably would have wiped them out. And it wasn't until later I realized, that wasn't a Christmas saving throw. It was supposed to be, they would have failed. And I just said, no, it's just, no, like they survived. They by the skin of their teeth, the rogues did the roguing things. They survived. It worked out. And and they made it out, and I just thought, like, there's no reason I'm going to retcon and say, oh no, you didn't really make a cruise mistake. I'm like, that's on me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they had fun, and there was the one time where they really collaborated. They scouted, they prepped beforehand to figure out, like, how to get around things, and I was really impressed with the group, and there's no way I would take that away from them.
Yeah.
You know.
And I love how you mentioned that, like, when you use, like, rule of cool, you let them know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, like, if you make a mistake, like, let them know. Be like, so much advice about DMing is like, oh, like, and GMing too. Like, oh, they don't know if you make mistakes. Don't worry about it.
Mhm.
It's like, all right, some of that's true. Like, okay,
Yeah.
whatever. If you switch XP and HP, they're gonna figure it out probably.
Eventually they'll figure it out.
Yeah, just so you know. But like, if you do something like, oh, hey, we messed up this rule, like let them know. That way they, like, own it. Be like, hey, I messed up. You did great. Don't worry about this. We're gonna keep it in.
Mhm.
But just making it super clear that, like, so that moving forward they understand the rules too. Because
Yeah.
clarifying the rules for everybody makes it better for everyone the whole time.
Yeah.
Right.
And it also, like, one of the reasons, in my opinion, that it matters so much to, like, get some of this kind of stuff right is that eventually it affects the balance of the game.
Yeah.
If you've, like, fundamentally misunderstood something about the rules as a player, that suddenly your character is, like, hyper powered in a way that none of the other characters are, it ends up being, like, a real spotlight issue.
Yeah.
Where you can jump over a bunch of the hurdles that your fellow players at the table cannot, because there's just, like, a mechanic that has now, like, been wrenched into your favor in a way that it was not meant to be. And that's not to say, like, malicious or whatever. It's just, like, everybody can have more fun when you're all on a level playing field that way.
And that's really important, is what's going to be more fun, because as a game master, a DM, you really have, like, the last word, and, like, how much fun can we have? And if you can allow the moment to kind of just unfold, then, step back and let it happen, because it's not under my control, really. It's really under the control of the dice. And so many things that are, some of the best moments are randomized anyway. So if I mess up, it's like, well, great, that's more randomness, and if it contributed to having fun, or if I can allow the mistake and not allow, them to not impose the rule system so that they are suffering and struggling to survive, and, I'm going to let it happen, because what do I get out of it if I impose rules on them that takes away from them, as opposed to just like, okay, the rules are a structure. But really the fun is just the creative chaos that can happen. And that's rare. So let it happen.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. The other thing that seems, and maybe I misunderstood, but if they have to retcon it, does that mean they're doing it again? And does that mean they have to go through a combat with 12 people all over again?
Right, yeah.
Or is it just that last combat? Because if it's just that one guy, then it's just one. But it does sound like there were other people there as well.
Yeah.
So, like,
I can't even imagine how long that would have taken with 12 people all taking turns in a combat.
I'm curious, like, we could reread it, but I was like, yeah, was that
no,
2
I mean,
sessions?
it's not clear in the
The
text.
That just seems like someday, like, if I do bad things in life and there is a hell, that will be it. Like, I will just be never ending waiting for my turn in an initiative order for a combat, and it will never get to my turn.
It will be D&D.
Yeah, it'll be D&D. Which, like, okay, like, that seems like, okay, like, I D&D's not my first choice, but I like D&D.
Yeah.
And, like, I can play it. Like, it's not, it's not my favorite flavor of chocolate, but I'll eat dark chocolate too. Like, it's not milk chocolate for me, but I'll take it.
Yeah.
Like, chocolate's chocolate. RPGs are RPGs. I will play D&D, and every once in a while I get a hankering for D&D. But that, like, the waiting, like, it will just never be my turn in the initiative order.
Yeah.
That will be the punishment, the eternal waiting for my turn and never get to go. Oh, and it feels like this would be
12 people is a lot. Like, that's so many.
That's so much commitment, though. I just applaud the group for even that many people trusting one game master to take them on that journey and lead them through. That's an enormous amount of trust, and I just couldn't. I mean, I might have 6 people in my group, but
That's a lot. To
Yeah, and it's just like I'm going to make this the best experience. That's what I want to do. I want to make it the best experience for the seasoned players, and I have new players too, completely noobs, and I can't do that to them. Like, oh no, oopsie, oopsie doopsie, whoopsie whoopsie
Yeah.
on me. So I take away your fun. Like, no, I'm here to like let it happen. So yeah, don't impose the rules.
Since we're diving back in the old podcast lore, when we first started the podcast, we were all playing in a 4E game that Stu is DMing. And what happened is he would invite more people to be on the podcast, and they would all join the game. So there were
This is when y'all were playing in the yard, right?
This is when we were all still playing. It was long before actual plays. We were not doing it. We were just doing the advice show once a week.
Okay.
And we were playing in Stu's backyard, and he'd push together, like he had one, like the regular folding tables that are 6x3 or whatever they are. And then eventually he had 2 that he put together. So it was like a big, and then eventually there were 3, and there were so many people. Like, they were all my friends, and I loved them all. But, oh my gosh, the nights would be so long. We would play for like 10 hours at a time. And like, oh, it was wild. I think
those are the days. Like, I really feel like
there were like 10 or 11 of us.
the
Not
like late
including
90s, early 2000s were really the sweet spot for like, if you were playing a game and it was like they were all crunch at that point.
Yeah.
So you're playing D&D, or you're playing Pathfinder, or you're playing like
GURPS.
Vampire or GURPS, like, and so I remember so many sessions that were like, okay, somebody came over at like 10 a.m.
Yeah.
and then we would finish at like midnight,
Yeah.
Ooh,
and
yeah.
those would be like order pizza twice.
Yeah.
That was D&D in college.
Yeah.
And that's what
Anymore.
I'm like. It's like when you could devote either like an entire day or a whole weekend to it, or even after like post college when like before regular jobs were a thing for anyone.
Yeah.
And so you were playing, and it would be like a 6-hour session, and I just don't hear a ton about that happening now, and I don't know if it's just because I have reached the middle-aged or if like so I ask you, listeners, for those of you who are out there playing at your home games like on the regular, what are your sessions like? How long are they? Are people out there doing those marathon 10-hour sessions? Like at once, if you're only going to meet once a month, it's going to be for 12 hours. Like, what is the deal?
I know my group is going to have some epic moments where it's going to be multiple sessions, not necessarily of combat, but things just aren't going to be resolved. And I like to like implement and inset role play into the combat as much as possible, because it just gets becomes a drudgery. But it's going to happen. But one thing I was thinking about, we hadn't even heard of how many NPCs were in this campaign in that session. Like, how many of those got a turn? Because my philosophy is it takes away from the fun, it adds to the drudgery. So I use a lot of third-party stuff for my campaign, and one of them, can I mention different products that you have? Okay, so sorry, indie game writer, I love you. I'm in the same boat, but I use what's called the companion system that's on DM's Guild. Check it out. And it's a wonderful system where the NPCs don't get a turn in combat. They're just a shadow. They're in the player character's space. They occupy their space. You just get a few benefits of attacks, 1 or 2 of their class features, and that's it. They don't get a turn in combat, but that, I don't know if they were aware of that, if they were using that system, but that adds to the drudgery. And so if that combat took that long, I don't understand how that GM could even feel like I wouldn't even want to go through that again.
Yeah,
like, oh, I messed up. Oh, well, you'll never know.
I would hope with 12 players there were no NPC combatants.
I would hope so. It seems like, and this is totally supposition, the only thing I can think of is like the reason you'd want to retcon. One, like, there are people who really do want to do the rules right. Like a rules lawyery, not negatively necessarily, but okay, I want to do this right. Or 2, they wanted some particular story beat or moment that maybe they didn't get because this foe was just was taken out too easily.
But obviously not too easily, because this whole thing started when this guy found all of the other team unconscious.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then one other person was up and took out the dragon and was saving everyone else.
Everyone.
So, like, it does feel like
Oh.
it had some things had happened.
Oh, I wonder if the GM like came from like good intentions, like felt like no one else got a part of this combat. And like based on D&D, depending on how you do the rules, like that means they may not get XP like expected. If there was loot, like I don't know that. So maybe they felt, oh, this one person got, these two people or like a small section of people got everything from this combat, and everyone else got left out because I messed up a rule. I could see myself thinking that, like meaning well, not meaning to take the moment away, but also feeling like this person maybe got too much of the moment. I don't know.
But once again,
Yeah.
that is a learn from it and move on.
Yeah.
Not a back, because like in the end, taking something away, unless other members of the group and the party have expressed discontent, something that everyone was on board for,
Yeah.
that you as a GM take away from your table, like, think long and hard about it and also talk it through with them before you do it.
Yeah.
Like, unilaterally doing that just is...
That's the thing, yeah.
And that's the thing that happened here is, like, it really killed the mood of the entire session at that point, regardless of why this GM did it, because that discussion and that, like, explanation didn't happen, and it just came down from above, it ruined the fun that they had been having.
Yeah.
Can I mention a horse? So this really, so once I tried to create an all queer D&D group, and one guy dropped out, and then I found another, and he looked really good on paper, and then but ended up wanting to totally railroad us. And so we had actually already had role playing on our phones and texting, because we had a session 0, and so that guy actually kind of killed it for us. And I remember thinking, I'm thinking now that you have a lot of power to create joy for people, and it's not about the game, because the game is just a game, but it's really about the people and the connection that you have in that moment. You're taking time out of your day, and if you're playing in real life, you're transporting yourself. So make the fun a priority, but that's also, I think, depends on maybe your emotional intelligence, your social skills, because one thing that Jake pointed out was that he, like you said, Pooja, he hadn't even talked to us. And I think, like you're saying, like, talk to them at some point and say, hey, guys, just want to let you know, own up to it. Like, this was what I did. This was my part. So I want to know how you guys feel about it, because this would be the impact. And that's something we have to do in all our relationships, especially at the table. And this is why, D&D went in the direction it's been going. Some people don't like it. Sorry. But, it's really about the impact of people and making everyone feel welcome and belonging at the game. And if you make it about the rules, then you will kill that. And it's always going to be about the people. And that's the power that you have, is to create that joy and create that sense of belonging. I mean, if they were smoking and celebrating, the divine has spoken. Like it is.
You got 12 people to agree on something. Like, you can just celebrate that.
If I had that moment, I'd be like, sorry, DM, this happened. We're not retconning.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Overruled.
Yeah. Right.
Veto power.
Yeah. Amazing. Okay. I don't think we can end on anything better than that amazing input right there. All right. Mailbag 2. Here, I will read this one. So, my Punch and Stab player finally had a spotlight opportunity. The first 2 fights the player character faced were easy to defeat in opposed dice rolls. However, the final fighter was named canonical character, Black Chrysantan. I know a lot about Star Wars. I don't know that particular character. The Star Wars franchise's evil Chewbacca. Oh, okay, yeah, I know who this is. Sorry. I should have read for more context. I typically avoid using familiar characters from the official canon in my games by tucking the PCs away in a corner of the galaxy that can be their sandbox to play in. That way, I don't have to worry about the decision they make messing with the franchise's official timeline. But in this case, I wanted the opponent that would make every player sitting at my table say, "Ooh, poop." I don't think they'd say, "Oh, poop." Like, yeah, I wouldn't say poop. Actually, if my kid was there, probably. But okay.
I see poop.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
Also, it's like the funniest thing to her right now. Everything is poop. Like, it's just so funny.
I love that for her.
For her,
Yeah.
like, she changes the words in every song to poop. Happy poop day to you. Happy poop. Like, it's just like peak, like, newly 6-year-old humor. It's just, and she thinks it's so funny.
It is. I love it. Can I say something?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
One of my best college buddy friends, we got to room together for 1 year, and the first night we spent together, we changed every other some of the words and the most quotable parts of David Lynch's Dune into poop. Like the poop is life.
Yeah.
The poop extends consciousness. The poop has given me accelerated evolution for 4,000 years.
My kid would be losing it. She's very excited. She went, "Hi, poop mom." It's like, okay.
I love her.
Yeah, she's the best. Like,
She
can't
is amazing.
She's all right. Sorry. Yeah, evil Chewbacca. Oh, poop. Okay. My player's gladiatorial bout with Black Kursantan involved quite a few dice rolls. In-game, both characters were statistically evenly matched. Resolving your typical FFG Star Wars encounter takes usually no more than 3 rounds of rolling. Oh my gosh, this took over 10 rounds.
Oh
and
my
for
gosh.
each round, I had to come up with a unique description that matched the narrative dice each time. I have a thing to say about this. The bout ended with the rolls for Black Kurst. I should know this word by now, and I still don't. Kursantan resulted in so many threat points appearing on the dice that he passed out from exhaustion rather than the PC defeating him with a knockout or a cannon violating death. My precious cannon must be maintained. This felt thematically appropriate. The PC technically defeated this terrifying opponent, but only by robo-doping them rather than beating him up. Wesley Street on the Discord.
It's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing.
Wow.
So I loved the how they did the kind of vibe dice, like with the unique symbols on it for FFG Legend of the Five Rings. It's slightly different than how they did it for FFG Star Wars.
I'll be honest, like straight off the bat,
Mhm.
I have no idea how FFG Star Wars works.
Yeah, we did some APs of it. I actually really love vibe dice, which is what I call them. They're not actually called vibe dice,
Yeah.
but they've got like specific symbols on them that you have to kind of interpret.
Mhm.
It's very similar to like reading tea leaves, I believe, and I like it.
Yeah.
But it can be really strenuous because there are things you can like succeed, but like with a complication, and like it counts up how many complications, how serious a complication. So it's not as kind of general as something
yeah.
like PBTA, where it's like, oh, you
Yeah.
rolled a 6 to 9.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, okay, this is a serious thing, or you have a amazing success and something terrible also happens. So it can be hard for GMs to continually come up with things over and over and over again in a fight situation specifically like this.
Because you always have to qualify what it meant and make it feel like reasonable, like in a gritty realism sense of the
Like-
the idea. Yeah.
Or at least whatever your
Each
in
time.
narrative
Yeah.
whatever your in narrative agreements are.
Yeah.
Like that sounds so difficult.
Yeah, it can
Like
be
that
really,
really
difficult.
sounds hard.
Yeah.
And fit it into the canon, the precious canon.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't worry about that part, but like whatever.
Yeah.
But so like I love that concept of these dice, but and I can't imagine doing it for 10 rounds in a combat. That is so much. Because the hard thing is because it is randomized,
Yeah.
you can get these extremes where you get this amazing success, but then also there's like some terrible complication. And you're like, okay, see, but there should be like you got the best success you possibly could. You got the little star-shaped thingy, which is like the bestest. Like, why is also something really bad happening? So it can conflict with itself. For whatever reason, when we played Legend of the Five Rings, it felt more elegant. And I don't know if it was just it was the dice are a little bit different. I'm sure there's math involved that I can't quite recall at this moment.
If you want to know about the math, just at Jason on the Discord.
Yeah, I don't know if he has played FFG Star Wars, I know. But I don't know if he would know the difference. But it may also have just been I don't know. To me, it was easier and made more sense, even though it was the beta of the Legend of the Five Rings at the time, which was a hot mess in many other ways. But the dice specifically. And yeah, I don't know. Like, I really wanted to love FFG Star Wars, and it's just so hard. There's just so many little things that kept getting in the way of my desperate desire to love it. But I had fun with it, and it's a good one. And 10 rounds. Wow,
that's amazing. Also, I think it was like incredibly fitting.
Yeah,
that it was exhaustion that got him in the end, because like people, I think it's more nowadays, like movie fights and things like that have gotten more into that like quote unquote grittier, more realistic style where you like really see how much the people are struggling to keep going. The first John Wick, it has a lot of that where he is like overcoming all of this stuff, but you see the toll it's taking on him throughout the entire movie. So, but like when I was growing up, it was like fights would last like seemingly 5 or 10 minutes and everyone would be like at the end of them, and you never really saw the toll. But like if you've ever participated in a like combat situation, and I used to take martial arts for a long time, and even just sparring for a couple of minutes,
That's it.
really takes it out of you. Like, it's hard. When you see, like, boxing matches or MMA or something like that, like, you can see how obscenely difficult it is and how much it really takes out of you. So, like, I love the way that this ended up going, but also 10 rounds.
Well, 10 rounds
so
is
much.
not equivalent to, like, 1 minute of the average street fight in real life. That's not really... It's out of balance, I think.
it's
Yeah, the staircase fight in Atomic Blonde, too. Like... You really see it. It's like very... Because it's fucking hard. It takes so much out of you.
That's exactly what I was going to refer to.
Yeah.
And I briefly studied martial arts, too, and I learned, like, the average street fights really... Like, most people that study martial arts get blindsided and knocked out cold. But I was going to say Atomic Blonde felt like that's the realistic... Like, okay, someone's just getting pummeled and going on and on and on. But it wasn't, like, 10 rounds of fighting for... Like, she eventually... Like, it resolved itself at some point. And I don't know what you were going to add if you said all the words that you're going to say, Kimmy, but I would actually just be like, okay, adding a complication. My improv battery is out.
Yeah.
Like, I would just like start, I'm not saying I would fudge rolls or anything, but I would just be like, okay, look, we got to wrap this up, you know, because the dies are like now overriding the fun in a way.
Yeah.
So
It sounds like this, like Wesley and his table were able to keep it going in a really fun way.
Yeah.
And like, my hat is off to you, Wesley, because like, I couldn't imagine doing 10 unique rounds of a physical fight.
Yeah.
Even in the Star Wars universe. Like a ring fight kind of situation. It's just like a lot. That's so much.
That's a lot.
I feel like at some point we should run this again though, because we have so many of these fancy special dice. Because we like the game had just been released and we decided to play it for an actual play. And we just have so many of the dice. And I guess for a while they were rare because they stopped making them.
Really?
Oh.
So like so like that's the other like caveat about having special magic dice you need for your game. It's like if the company ever stops making it.
Yeah, inaccessible.
I mean, at that point, like, my assumption would be to I don't know what system this is, like D10 or D6 or whatever, but like
There is no. It's magic dice the whole way around.
I know, but
Oh, yeah.
like how many sides? Is
Oh
it?
yeah, and that's what people did. They had like
so you
little
just
charts.
like do a chart
Yeah.
of like a 1 equals this
Yeah.
symbol, a 2 equals this symbol,
Right,
whatever.
right, yeah.
Like
It's still exhausting. Like, can you imagine 10 rounds where you had to look up what each? Because you roll like 4 to 6 dice at a time. So then you're like,
Yeah.
that's
I don't
a
have
lot
patience.
of work. That's a lot of work
just don't
that
have
I don't think
Yeah.
I'm actually willing to
Yeah,
do.
they get Wesley gets a gold medal.
yeah,
Yeah,
yes.
Wesley, you are number 1.
Yeah, it sounds like
Yeah.
everyone has a dice though. I know there's apps though. I feel like someone at our table had an app that helped a little bit, and I feel like that would be like key.
Mm-hmm.
If I were to like give advice to this company, Fantasy Flight. If you want my advice,
Mm-hmm.
make an app that like gives like suggestions.
Yeah.
Like, hey, they've got 4 bad
Yeah.
little symbols. Like maybe this. Like get like
Like a table.
Yeah, like,
type.
here's some
Yeah.
options you can
Yeah.
choose from. Like
Yeah.
maybe they drop their weapon, or they get burnt, or it's really hot outside and they're a Wookiee and they have way too much fur and they're getting tired fast. Like
Yeah.
It's the appropriate amount of fur.
not for a Tatooine. Come on.
No.
The appropriate amount of fur for Tatooine is 0 fur.
None, zero, the 0 fur.
Yeah.
Oh,
All right.
Wookiees as cats, like they're
Oh yeah.
so. A lot of cats are from the desert. I know it's weird, but like there are a lot of cats in the desert.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
like are made for that kind of environment,
Yeah.
despite having lots of fur.
Are they like mostly nocturnal though?
Some of them, yeah, and they're
Maybe
really,
the
and really
Wookiees.
small,
Maybe
too.
the Wookiees were originally mostly nocturnal.
Yeah. Maybe that's why this one has darker fur. Like it's
Mm-hmm.
part of the yeah.
Yeah.
This is amazing.
We are destroying in the same breath that we praised Wesley. We're destroying his canon.
Yeah, we're gonna get so many emails, and they're gonna be nothing about gaming. It's gonna be angry at us about Wookiee evolution. No, I know they're tree dwellers. Don't at me. Okay.
It's fine. It's
It's
fine.
fine.
We've all seen the Christmas special.
Yeah, we have.
Yes.
No man.
Can I say something like the takeaway I had from your comments is
Mm-hmm.
that what I get, not just specifically to Wesley, but sometimes handling this stuff and the die rolls and making the calls about what it means and how it's going to affect it, that can just take so much attention, so much intellectual labor. Sometimes I just feel, someone commented as well, like having so many dice and so much to track. It's I won't say burdensome, but it's taxing sometimes in the moment, and you're juggling a lot of things. But like just calculating and interpreting like the rules and how this applies to a system, and making something that's rigid like the rules fit just the fluid moment is sometimes it's so taxing. I just opt for like fluidity and just creativity and like, okay, 10 at round 5, like, okay, I'm going to impose something else and just go with.
Yeah, like have an external, and that's a really good suggestion, I think, to like when something looks like it's going this way, and we can't all be Wesley, that like it's okay to like bring in other complications from outside or have like something that affects the fight so it still feels satisfying to everybody there, but like you're not stuck in a situation where you feel like you're running out of gas,
Right.
or it stops being fun for you as a GM, because that's a thing that oftentimes I feel like gets forgotten at tables is that you are all there to have fun,
Right.
Yeah.
and that includes GMs.
Yeah.
As difficult as
Yeah. And-
players sometimes make it, I'm not sorry.
yeah.
That's actually one of the number one complaints I've heard about people running PBTA, is that so often when people roll the 6 to 9, the GMs feel like really put on the spot, having to weave it into the narrative, come up with their own stuff.
Yeah.
And especially like 6 minuses, there's a lot of PBTA games that just kind of leave that up to the GM. They don't specify things to happen at a 6 minus, which I totally understand, because you want it to be free form, that the GM, and that's why there's usually like a more robust GM section. But it's like a complaint that's not a small amount of people. So this is like that, just like to a more extreme. I haven't GM'd any of the Fantasy Flight games. I should like at least take a look, because I'm wondering how much of their GM section has support.
Supported, right?
Yeah,
Exactly.
like how do you come up
Yeah.
with these complications even in the
Yeah.
face of amazing successes and things like that? Because
Yeah.
I love the concepts.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's just kind of
Yeah.
interesting.
Note to game designers, fully support the game masters because they have a limited. My brain gets hot. Like I can literally feel it overheating. Like my disk drive. It's like, oh, okay, this is too much computing. Like
it, and at some point you want to be fair and you want to have like everybody at the table to have fun while still keeping it interesting and challenging.
Yeah.
Because also it's like, I was actually talking to somebody about this the other day, that like I have been playing a video game and it's my first time through the game, and so I put it on like normal mode. But I chose like a path through the game where like eventually I'm probably halfway through, I don't know. Things started to get so easy because of the choices I had made as like an experienced video gamer, whatever, that the game got boring because the challenges that it was originally structured for like weren't there. Because once I learned all the mechanics, I needed to, and like I bumped up the difficulty level on it, and the game is much more interesting now because the challenge is there.
Yeah,
And the same
yeah.
thing can apply in TTRPGs, where like if the players are just rolling through and like steamrolling everything around them, it can get boring and not be as fun as when there's a challenge that they have to overcome. And coming up with those challenges it can be one of the more difficult things to do as a GM. Or like if you have a table where heaven forbid you have a Clara and they just roll real bad a lot, and you want them to succeed and you want to be a fan of the players, but like having to introduce complication after complication after complication just because because there's a Stork, there's a Clara, that like people who just like the dice hate them 99.9% of the time.
I think you can, like you're saying, mitigate those roles, and for the sake of fun, and like Stan can, reach level of exhaustion, and you can just really create the circumstances, and instead of like if there's no support for like what all those complications could mean, I would just take the reins and say, okay, this is what the role means. I'll add a complication, but I'd rather improvise and have to be like, in kind of a way that kind of wraps up the combat and saves the fun. And there's always like balance, like you said, between like sometimes players need to feel like, okay, we steamrolled, we got an easy win, we conquered, and sometimes they need the challenge, like, okay, we're not getting this guy until 10 rounds, 2 sessions later. And that's moment to moment.
Yeah.
It really is. So
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we took a success story and turned it into a roast of fancy dice. Sorry. But we appreciate you, Wesley. And thank you for being on the Discord, too. We appreciate it.
Nice.
All right, mailbag number 3. It's long and I'm not reading it.
okay.
I've got this one. Okay. Greetings, happy jackers. First, a shout out to Stu for giving me so many hours of entertainment and GURPS love. Woo. Thank you so much. Let's all heart to Stu, who was definitely fine.
He's totally fine. I don't know. Actually, Fair, I think, just ended or is ending this weekend or something. So he might not be fine. Because, like, the last few weekends of Renaissance Fair are super rough.
Yeah, that's
They're
true.
exhausting.
That's
true.
They're
Right.
tiring. And then you have to tear down the whole fair. There's a lot of, like, it's hard.
But in general, over the grand scheme of things,
Oh, he's,
fine.
yeah, very tired probably.
Second, a hearty round of applause to Kimmy for taking up the mantle and keeping the flame of happy jackerness burning bright. Kudos, ma'am.
Oh, yeah, from the archive 2022.
You
This
got
is old
mammed.
enough. Yeah.
You got mammed in 2022.
I mean, that was not, I was definitely a man by then.
Now, on to my question. A few episodes ago, the topic of immersion in RPGs came up. I had actually written to you guys about it many years ago, and my letter got read. But Jib misunderstood. Jib?
Yeah. Someone who used to be on the show.
Oh. Misunderstood what I was asking, and the discussion ended off in the weeds. Since the topic has popped up, I thought I would try again.
Anyone who remembers Jib knows that this is very likely. This is very true to form.
Immersion is awesome. Partly because of how deep into your character's head you can get, but also because when you're in that zone, the character can surprise even you. Writers often complain that you can't get James Bond to step in front of a bus. What they do? What they mean is that the character has become so well defined that they find they can't write it doing things that go against that definition. Hence my story of Kat and Ian. Super team members. Ian did something to demonstrate a total lack of trust in his teammate Kat. Her feelings got hurt. She was thinking about leaving the team. Drama. The GM talked about it with myself and the other player. It was decided that the GM's PC/team mom would bring Kat and Ian together.
Go Team Moms.
And they could talk it out, hug, and then we'd move on. All were agreed.
Okay.
However, when we all got into character, it fell apart. Ian said something that triggered Kat, who retorted with something back, and it spiraled out of control. Anyone who's ever had siblings, I feel like, really, really feels this. Before we knew it, the GM was looking at the two of us, dumbfounded. We sat back, stunned. Although the players had a perfectly good idea of what was supposed to happen, when we got into character, it totally went off the rails. Not due to dice rolls, but just the characters not doing what the players wanted. If would have been like in Kimmy's immersion example of her PC and Abria's, where they were going to raise the other's children. Except once they started RPing it out, the characters refused to do it.
It was like, I'm not going to say which campaign, because maybe spoilers, but it's a very old campaign now at this point. It was a long time ago. Yeah, so like it said, but it was a great moment. It was like, oh.
So, my question. Have you any examples of times when your character refused to do what you wanted it to do? The player had a plan, but the character balked or went off the rails? When James Bond refused to step in front of that bus? Thanks for all the great gaming talk. I look forward to years more. Taurelin.
Yay!
P.S. Shout out to Abria for her celeb GMing gig with the Critical Role crew. I was listening to CR and said, wait, I know that voice. Great job.
All right, so times where, and I think this is much more likely to happen when you're playing, this has happened to me a few times when playing masks, especially when you're playing teenagey type characters that are more likely to be you say something, well, I was going to be nice to you, but now you said that to me, and teenagery. But yeah, I've had this happen a couple times. I don't know. Does anyone else want to start, or?
I have to think about this.
Okay.
It sounds like maybe a familiar situation, but I'm kind of blank my memory right now.
The thing that makes this sort of situation kind of more interesting is that they'd kind of agreed and kind of plotted things out a little bit ahead of time, and then it didn't happen at the table. I think that's a caveat that changes things a bit, because I've sat down at the table with other people and had in my head what I thought was going to happen, and then it didn't end up happening, but we hadn't discussed ahead of time, been okay, we're gonna mend our rift in this conversation, which I think is absolutely valid and a great way to handle things, especially when it's high emotion situations for the PCs. But that's a little wild to me.
Yeah, I've never had it to where it's been a multiplayer situation where people have agreed on a certain course of action and then started role playing and it's never happened and it's gone off the rails that way. I don't know that I've ever been as immersed to have that happen, but the things that I find really fun and interesting are when you're super into role-playing a character and you have an idea of where things are going to go, and then something else like somebody says at the table really throws a wrench in it. It's like, well, now that is out there, I cannot go this way. The character will not do this. Like, I love that kind of stuff because it's part of what makes playing RPG so fun for me. Like, it's that collaborative storytelling and like having these people whose brains work completely differently than yours do and imaginations go in completely different directions. Or, well, when I'm playing with Sam, that we just love all the same things in different flavors.
Yeah. That's so true.
Yeah, I can only think of something similar. It's funny, it was that first campaign for 5e. Because most of my other games that I play, like, we get along more or less. But I was the problem. My character was the problem because in my backstory, had a problem with this certain type of creature. And so I think, like, then the DM was actually trying to, enhance group cohesion because I'd invited 2 other friends to the campaign. So he was having to, like, okay, bring them in later, and we hadn't done session 0. But then he dropped this creature from a published adventure, and it was an evil creature, but this creature was an exception because it was working for good. But in my background, my character was like, I don't trust any of these things because they've killed most of my family. And so there was supposed to be this moment where, and we had even talked about, like, okay, we've got to work more like a team. We've got to, the rogue's got to do this thing, use his charm, and get the advantage. And as soon as that creature appeared, I was like, I'm going to be 100 feet away. I'm going to have my weapons trained on it. And at the end of the session, the DM was like, first of all, there's too many secrets. No one knows why you don't, why you're reacting this way. And he's like, can we please have no more? But I will say in that situation, I did react the way my character would, but nothing from my background in that campaign had showed up. So that was, that was kind of the DM, like, not putting that. And there wasn't a lot of inter-character cohesion beforehand. So, and again, that was kind of on them and 2 bad players. But it was on me because I stuck to, like, my character can't get.
But without the backstory or using that as an opportunity to be like, I don't trust this, and this is why.
Yeah, yeah, and so that's on me. Like, it I'm
happens sometimes. Like, as we all grow as role players, especially when it comes to, like, having, like, that deep seated kind of, like, special backstory that lives in your heart, that you want to have the perfect moment, and sometimes. Like, I think it's an easy thing as we all start role playing to, like, think that you don't want to be, or, like, it's the thing when, like, you have potions and you don't want to use them because it's not the time yet, and then you die and you still have all these potions. But it's like that, but with backstory. It's like you want to find the perfect time to use it, and therefore I never end up introducing it.
Yeah, thank you for saying that. Yeah.
That we've all done.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Yeah,
Except Kimmy.
Oh no. No, I have an exact story, which actually isn't an actual play. So you can hear it happen in real time. So Gina and I were playing Sisters in our Dead Rain campaign, which is like a zombie game.
Nice.
And we were like middle-aged sisters, like later in life. We weren't like, and just no matter what happens, and it wasn't like between us as people, like, just like, I think we both just like were like working through some shit with our siblings, and like we were fine as people at the table with each other, but our characters just could not get along.
Oh, man.
Like, in every situation. And like, it was like a zombie apocalypse game too, so it was already very high pressure.
Oh, wow.
And it was like one of these things, we're trying to survive. We've got like Rob as this old cranky dude who's with us, and he's just like, what the fuck is happening? Like, and like we would start off.
Wait, Ska Rob?
Yeah, Ska Rob. And I had a dog. He had a big dog with us. So it was great.
Oh.
And like, our characters would start off a scene just okay, and then somehow we would spiral, and we'd get in these sibling fights that just like Stu and Kadave were co-GMing that game.
Wow.
And they would just be like, how is this happening? There's zombies. Why are you fighting about your dad? And it's just like, because we have to, it's the end of the world. We have to sort this shit out while we can.
Because we might not survive till the end of the day.
Yeah.
My feelings, my grievances must be aired.
Yeah.
Oh, I could never do that. It would be too real.
It got really real. There were a couple times where, like, I think that was like, I don't know. I think there was like times where we were like crying, and there was a lot of times people were like watching and playing, and listening, and they're like, I have to like opt out. So it was one of those games that like I feel, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I feel like it was one of those things where we were learning a lot about ourselves, but also like, oh, okay, like it was early on in our streaming days. And so we were still kind of learning what the boundaries were and what the differences were. And yeah, it was just kind of an interesting thing, but you can see like in real time a very clear example of this exact thing where we were very in character.
Yeah.
And then like we'd both be at the end, he's like, hey, are you cool? Yeah, I'm cool. Are you fine? Okay, yeah. Wow, that was wild. Okay. So I don't know. It's very interesting.
I do love that, like, I do love that aspect of it. When the bleed does not go in the bad direction.
Yeah.
It's like, yes, I've won. And I think it's like a really good moment to like bring up the after session check-ins.
Yeah.
Good point.
Are such a great tool to have and to use in any, like in a lot of games, especially when you're talking about like immersion and deep immersion into your characters.
Yeah.
And how much I've appreciated that across the board in games that I've played over the last, like, you know, however many years that I've been doing APs now. I had to really think about it, and then I was like, no, time is a lot. But that, like, because especially in an AP environment, like, we stay in character a lot more than you necessarily would, like, in a home game. Fewer breaks, all that kind of thing. That, like, having specific check-ins when there have been emotional moments in the game to, like, be like, okay, we just had a big blowout in character, and then after the game to check in and be like, this is my friend.
Yeah. Maybe it's a good idea. I don't know if you guys did it, you and Gina, and tell me what you think, but it's out from what you're saying, I'm thinking, and the reason I'm thinking this is because I'm now in a situation where a new character and has a brother, a sibling, like an older brother, and like their character gets all the goodies and the other one, who's very talented and capable, doesn't get the recognition. And by just to give you guys some, it's like my campaign wasn't meant to be Eberron, but everyone's playing an Eberron character. So the Hexblood, I decided, would be the child, an elf turned into a Hexblood by the 3 hag sisters, daughters of Sora Kel. So he's got 3 mothers and an older brother. And the first thing I was thinking is like, okay, maybe we need some, like, what is our relationship? Like, how do we relate? And what we decide is, if the older brother that I'm playing, you know, is going to love you, but also know, like, there's going to be some friction because they're not getting the acknowledgement and you're getting all the goodies. And so there's going to be that older brother behavior, but we talked about, like, the limits are, we're just not going to have it an all-out thing like that. We're just not going to play it that way because I don't know how to get out of it. You know, and now that you're saying, I'm thinking we could we will, but he's a heavy role player. I will commit to the role, and the rest of the players online will be like, are they really fighting or are they just going, you know? And I don't want to have those situations where I don't know how to
turn it off. Like,
yeah.
And it's really good on you for knowing that it's like, here is the limit of like what I can deal with emotionally.
Yeah.
Because as much as I love immersion, like, we're all going through a lot right now.
Yeah.
The world is a lot. And I enjoy being able to play and role play tense situations with a level of remove that I didn't necessarily need 8 years ago.
We all
just because, like, the toll and the emotional commitment that it takes is like that energy is energy I need to spend getting through the day.
Yeah.
For
real.
But like, it's still a very enjoyable experience to like have both those moments where it's just like the friction and then I really want to know when or if those players like how they mended it after that. I kind of can't get over the like sibling fight vibes of that email.
Yeah.
Because having an older sibling with a history of a contentious relationship there, it's like, man,
Yeah.
the many flashbacks I just had to like, oh yes, you're supposed to get like your parent has called you to make up, and it just goes completely off the rails. It's such a
Still goes
relatable,
wrong.
like too relatable.
Yeah. I feel like it's so easy to do with characters at a table too, because like you've made your character, you know what upsets them. The other person, even though their character's supposed to know your character really well, may not really understand all the stuff you've made. And it kind of reminds me of the I put a seeing red trigger move into Starscape, where there's certain things that set your character off and make them really upset very quickly. And this seems like this is like part of it, and not everyone knows what all your list is, what your
And I feel like
seeing
they
red triggers
should.
are.
It's like
Yeah.
that's reality, right?
Yeah.
Like, or
Yeah.
not like realism in my video game or in my TTRPG, but like rather that's what makes it more interesting that like your characters know each other on whatever level they know each other, but like being able to separate out the meta of what you may have read on somebody else's character sheet versus what your character actually knows about another person is so cool.
Yeah.
I love that.
But it can be so easy, even if someone's like meaning to make up with you. And this happens actually a lot with this move. People try and make something better and then they make it so much worse. And if you have if there's not like a mechanical framework or something like that, and for just free role playing, even if you planned ahead of time, okay, I'm going to be really nice to you. It's so easy to then be like, just poke the thing that just makes them angry, and then they are staying in character, and it's like, it can happen so easily.
Yeah. Those
And
are-
especially like super team members. I feel like there's always drama. Anybody who's read a Justice League or Adventures comic knows.
Yes. Yeah.
Just the dating lives alone.
I know, right? Like Avengers Tower.
Oh yeah.
That cleaning crew better get paid.
We so we had a podcast called Let's Start Over, Shall We? And the producers took it in a direction. So we were revising everything about the Marvel the storyline, but one thing they implemented was mental health episodes where he talked about like, what was it like, knowing, because right away, Tony was Iron Man from the beginning. There's no build. It's like, okay. And then Pepper Potts took over the company. And it was just like, okay, so, but then the battles came and like this civilian becomes this war machine or whatever. I mean, Pepper Potts wasn't the war machine, but you know what I mean? It's like, so what was it like to go from civilian life and this, and now you've had this traumatic battle, and we would talk about the relationships and the impact too. So it was really like a mental health check-in to promote mental health in real life as well, and talk about the friction that comes up. But because it does happen in real life, things you can't control. Even if Pepper knows Tony so well, they don't know everything about each other.
Yeah.
And so they're, what seems like, oh yeah, you're in my company, you've been running my company, sure, you're going to run it like I'm going to. And no, Tony, no, I'm not. And then that came, he's like, what? No. So I'm not saying that's how they played it out, but I'm just saying that's how it could happen.
And that's the thing, is like, we all bring our own flaws and, in Tony's case, massive egotism into it. Like,
big personality.
yes, big personality. That's a much more politic way to put it.
Yeah.
You're a much kinder person than I am.
I'm from the Midwest. I can't help it. We're too nice.
All right. I guess, are we good? Are we wrapped? All right.
I think so.
All right. Thank you for joining us for season 37, episode 7 of the Happy Jacks RPG podcast. Please support Rachel, him from MythWorks. You can find his stuff by visiting myth.works or at mythworks.itch.io. Thank you to our chat mod, James V, and to our amazing Patreons who keep us ad-free and independent. You can join their amazing ranks at happyjacks.org. My name is Kimmy, she, her. You can find the games that I am making at goldenlassogames.com. I am on Blue Sky occasionally as Golden Lasso Girl, mostly retweeting things about how angry I am at the world. But if you want to follow my games, you can follow Golden Lasso Games on Blue Sky or happyjacksrpg on Blue Sky. And both of those have stuff about this. Yes.
Hi, I'm Pooja. I don't use pronouns. You can find me on the internet as Forgotten Saves, mostly on Blue Sky, yelling about books or posting about my cats, and on the Discord. Those are my primary social medias nowadays. If you want to hear me play TTRPGs, we are currently one episode from the end of the Astral Circus, where I have been playtesting the Martial Sorcerer subclass. Also, I'm all over the Happy Jacks back catalog. I've just yeeted myself into this place. And Kimmy is kind enough to have let me. And
Not to poke like how long you've been doing these, but I think I had a picture pop up randomly from like 15 years ago of us working together at the gym.
oh my god!
Over a decade.
Yeah.
Oh,
I think it was. I was looking at it, I was like,
Oh, wow, that's amazing.
you like that?
The number of people who are in Happy Jacks because we all went to the same gym.
Yeah.
Is like the most LA thing
Really?
I've ever seen.
Yeah, I was a coach
Okay.
at the gym. So, and it was like a nerd themed gym. So
A nerd
Yeah.
themed. Where
Yeah.
is this?
It was
doesn't
in
exist
North
anymore.
Hollywood,
Yeah.
but like it
Of
closed down.
course.
Yeah.
It closed down after COVID.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
There's another one. In
I used
Burbank.
I lived in North Hollywood
Yeah.
during COVID. Okay, anyway.
Anyway, yeah, but that was the gateway drug to RPGs was,
The gym.
deadlifts.
Wow. I wouldn't have not expected that.
It was fantastic, and Kimmy was a fantastic coach.
That's
We were
amazing.
lucky to have her. But yeah,
Super
so
weird
if you want to hear me play TTRPGs, you can find me there. If you want to hear Happy Jack's longest by number of episodes, AP, you can check out the Astral Circus
You're so
on happyjacks.org/Astral Circus.
Yes.
That's awesome. And I'm Cousteau, and I'm literally looking at my my X profile. Sorry, I'm still on X. I do want to launch a Blue Sky where I will mostly promote my campaign, like a campaign journal,
Oh, nice. I love those.
as a newbie DM. So sharing all these adventures and stories, just to support also new DMs like myself, to promote tabletop RPGs, and to promote my own works that I'm still working on publishing. Art is expensive, so I'm delayed a little bit. But I'm at Cousteau McGee on the X, and it's basically the same on Instagram, which I usually am using and reposting as my social outlet because the world is just, it's a very interesting place, interesting times. So if you want to join me on those and, you're feeling it like I'm feeling it, feel free to join me on Instagram. I'd love followers. I will follow you. I'm specifically trying to support marginalized creators, indigenous, disabled, queer, but I love everybody. So if you want to follow me, I will follow you. I like to repost and support people who are publishing online. A lot of DMs Guild. There isn't a lot of support for third-party publishers right now. I love you streamers, but you take up a lot of oxygen in the room. There's a lot of people. I mean,
We do.
there's a lot of people that publish the actual writing have historically that we draw on. So I want to support those people because it's the game has changed and a lot of attention is leaving those platforms. So please support all independent artists, all streamers, all community building is what we need right now.
And publishers, writers
Yeah.
and publishers.
That's what I mean. Yeah, publishers, everyone, support artists,
Yeah.
and I love you. Thank you.
Also, I have been reminded that I needed to remind you all that our next game days is this next weekend. So, if you would like to play TTRPGs for free, if you go to our Discord at happyjacks.org/Discord, every other month we have a day where we play a bunch of games. People can volunteer to run games. We always have like very interesting selection, a variety of different TTRPGs. Some are super indie, some are more mainstream, and it's always a good time. Safety tools are required. It's absolutely free to play. We actually have the weird community that has more GMs than players. So if you don't want to run games, we need you. I mean, also,
if you want to play games,
yes.
we need you.
Yes.
Come to the Discord. We have games.
Yes. So, yeah, you can come join. This next one is happening next weekend, which would be the 16th. May 16th is the next one. They usually are on Saturdays, but sometimes they bleed a little bit into Friday or Sunday, depending on your time zone in the world.
Right.
So, yeah, it's lots of fun. So go join and come play with us. Yay.
Love y'all.
All right. We are going to leave you with a song. We're going to leave you with a song called The Decisive Battle. It's a cover of a Final Fantasy song, and it is by our friends at Super Mad NES. They have 2 amazing guitars that they just like rip on. They're fantastic. They're amazing, and they're good friends, and we love them very much. So please enjoy. And we will talk to you and see you next week. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.